In this video, we'll talk about manipulating equations, what it is, and how to do it. So probably the best example we have of manipulating equations is when we look at formulas, because when we look at a formula, we're really caring about the meaning behind it. So like, for example, kind of a classic one in physics, velocity equals distance divided by time. We know this relationship. If I want to know the speed or the velocity, I take the distance that something covered and I divide it by how long it took to do so. Now I could alter this formula a little bit. If I multiply both sides by t, well, that results in velocity times time is equal to the distance. Now, it still holds the same relationship between velocity, distance, and time. The idea is I'm just changing how I'm doing it. And this is another pretty popular equation, although this one is popular among mathematicians, because normally we know the velocity, we care about the distance, we want to know about these kind of things, or we don't really want to deal with division, we'd rather deal with multiplication. But these two equations have the same meaning, and the idea is we can manipulate them accordingly. So basically, when we're talking about manipulating an equation, we're basically just altering the equation using our algebra skills to try and get a different variable by itself. That's really the only difference here. So let's dive right in and do an example. Now, usually people see 4 different letters and they'll freak out a little bit. Well, the idea is let's pretend everything that's not x is a number. Okay? I want to get x by itself. Okay, so here's what happened. I had x, I subtracted w, and then I multiplied by r. Whatever those are, it could be 2, could be 7, could be pi, could be -2, whatever. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to probably either distribute the r in or divide by r. I think I'm going to divide by r. So then x minus w is equal to z divided by r. I would treat it just like I would a number. If it was, say, 7 out in front, I could divide off the 7 and go to the next step. Same idea here. Now I have x minus w is equal to z divided by r. And again, I can look at these just like I would numbers. So I'm going to add w to both sides. So then x is going to be equal to z divided by r plus w. And at that point, I've got x by itself. That's as good as I can get it until someone gives me some numbers. Now that's the trick. You treat them just like you would numbers, and you're probably going to have some expressions that are not so nice. You'll have some division, you'll have some multiplication, maybe some addition, some subtraction, all of that. But the idea is just deal with it just like you would if it was numbers. And just get x by itself. Ask yourself, okay, say this was a 7, what would I do? That's usually what will guide your thinking here.